Good evening and welcome to the Sports Locker. It's that time of the year again. The Sports Awards are just around the corner, a night in which we celebrate Gibraltar's top athletes and their accomplishments throughout the year. 6 awards will be given out on the night, and of course we will be rounding it up with the Sports Person of the Year winner. Joining me on set to talk about all things Sports Awards, the man that puts Sports Report and Sports Locker together every week, James Culatto, the man that makes the magic happen. And of course, you may remember previous Sports Locker host, Sheppard-Capurro, which I was going to say moved on to bigger and better things, but let's not undersell the Sports Locker for City Pulse, although he has got the prime time slot now on Monday nights. Guys,
thanks for having me back, man.
Yeah.
Just as I left it.
It hasn't changed, has it?
Nice one.
I'm glad we all got the memo.
Boys in green.
Yeah, boys in green.
Yeah, good. Sports Awards just around the corner then, a lot of work going into it. James, we'll start with you because you've kind of been, I suppose, spearheading a lot of the Sports Awards work this time around. How's it been going?
Great. I mean, 2025 was a brilliant year for a lot of athletes and teams, and so it's always very exciting when we get to the end of the year and we start sort of putting our shortlist together. And that's some really, really worthy winners, as always, of course.
Robin, for yourself, it's been like your full year back in sports now. How have you found it, and how have you found keeping tabs of everything that's happening in preparation for the Sports Awards?
Yeah, it's kind of like I never left in a way. It was just kind of like riding a bike. You know, you get back into it. James Culatto's still there. Jose Mari's still there.
But John's not here now.
No more John Sheppard.
Yeah.
You're right. But
Big mention
no,
to
it's been fine. It's been good fun getting back into it. I love the sort of the cut and thrust of the industry. And I was going to say, it is the only time of the year that we really kind of like butt heads and come to any kind of form of disagreement when it comes to comparing apples and pears, no, with the...
It's very hard to make a sort of a judgment and define who's had a better year, because every sport is different and levels that people compete at are different as well. So I think that is certainly something that we disagree on.
It's some of the age-old questions. How do you compare teams or people that are competing at a high international level versus people that are competing domestically but winning a lot domestically?
Claro, it's subjective, no?
Yeah.
Sport is so opinion-based. It is subjective, and so, you know, we that make up the panel, ultimately, it is our opinions, and it's hard to be objective about something like sports.
There are opinions which have been guided this year, because I think it's fair to say we implemented something a bit new, thanks to you, James, which you've been in contact with all sporting associations to get feedback and perhaps nominees, recommendations from them, and that's been quite helpful because it is hard to keep tabs on over 40 plus associations by yourself.
Yeah, so we had a previous sports reporter, Lewis, put together a contact list, pretty much all the sports, I think, locally, and we contacted all of them and asked them for their suggestions and nominations, and a lot of them did get back to us. So, and that kind of also sort of verified our opinions on some of the individuals anyway. So that was really nice. It was nice to see some associations nominating people from other sports.
Claro, because there's the risk of bias, no?
Of course.
With this kind of thing, there is.
The Eurovision, no? The associations that get on well with each other. No, but it's good to see, and again, it's been good for us to have people recommended that we weren't expecting. Some associations recommended some people where we perhaps thought they were going to recommend others. Yep. So it's been interesting to kind of balance things out and get perspectives from all sides. Now, it is tricky when it comes down to the niche sports, I think it's fair to say. Mm-hmm. Although we do quite well, I think also it's fair to say on recognizing the niche sports. I mean, last year we had the junior individual winner, junior sports person of the year being Stella McComb.
Yep.
So how hard is it to keep tabs on those smaller associations?
Well, we really rely on people involved in those sports to get in touch with us.
Yeah.
Because the number of sports that are available locally, and not only locally, but the amount of sports that people compete in across the border and in the UK and everything else, it's huge. Yeah. So we rely on people involved in those to get in touch with us. In the case of Stella, last year she was competing at such a good level that the decision was, again, trying to be, quantify the sort of levels that people are competing at. We felt that she deserved it. So yeah, and a great award, especially for a sport like horse riding, where, it's very rare for people to be competing in that.
Very rare.
The reality is as well is that, like, as a department, we feel an obligation to celebrate the fringe sports as well. Yeah. The easy way out would be come Wednesday or Thursday, what's happening on the weekend? Well, there's football and all the mainstream sports, and that would be easy enough. Yeah. But you know, it's our job to dig a bit deeper and find the horse riding and find the wing foiling and find the, well, paddle once upon a time.
Now it's mainstream,
It's
yeah.
absolutely mainstream.
Find
Pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yeah. Well, talking about Stella McComb, let's take a look at last year's highlights and last year's winners from the Sports Awards 2025.
Sum up your 2024, ladies.
Well, it was a very grueling year. I mean, we had to put in a lot of hard work to achieve what we did in July. And I think it wouldn't have been possible without the support of all our coaches and parents that stood behind us every step of the way.
It was a great 2024, and hopefully 2025 will be similar. Thank you.
Thank you for this award, and although I've done very well, I have to thank my trainer Curro, my parents, my siblings, and all my supporters.
And I thank my family, which my daughter and my husband were always there, because after work it's dedicated to organizing and sorting, and thank you for my recognition.
Particularly today, I'm aware that I have friends and colleagues, some of them are there, who go back a long way, and it's nice to know that they remember me and that they're grateful for what I did for them. I did it because I enjoyed it. That's it. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. The 2024 GBC Sportsperson of the Year, Sebastian de Sousa.
Thank you, everyone. I wasn't really expecting this, so I don't have a speech or anything, but first of all, congrats to all the other 5 nominees. I'm sure you all had amazing years. Keep doing your best, and I'm sure you'll do great.
Well, there you have it, last year's winners. A big congratulations to all of them. And wow, Unsung Hero, what a worthy winner, Sharon Celestia. For you, Robin, we know Sharon quite well, obviously, from work and just how much she does behind the scenes. What was it like giving her that award?
Honestly, that was the highlight of my night. Personally, we gave out loads of awards, but for Sharon in particular, we've both interviewed her 100 times. No calla ni debajo el agua. Vale, she's a real chatterbox. But to see her pretty much speechless up on stage, it felt like a real moment. She was shocked.
Yeah, we stumped her.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
We'll get around to the nominees in just a moment, but again, just because of how beautiful Unsung Hero is and how popular it's become over the last few years, just to touch upon that again, I mean, how many emails do we receive asking, can I nominate this person, so on?
Yeah, look, we've had several this year, all worthy ones as well. It's quite nice seeing family members nominate each other, and but yeah, all different associations too, not always the same ones, and for different reasons. And I think that just goes to show how a lot of sports in Jib are still volunteer-based. You know, people are willing to give up all that time.
That's a really good point, and
we're very lucky in that sense that people are willing to give up their free time to do the amount of work that they do. It's amazing.
On to, I suppose, the main award of the night, Sportsperson of the Year. Let's take a look at this year's 5 nominees.
Kim Baglietto. Undefeated in all her local races during 2025, Kim took her thirst for glory across the border and won the Cádiz, Torremolinos, Trebujena and Algeciras half marathons. She also broke the senior national record for the marathon in London, cementing herself as one of the all-time greats in local long-distance running. Iron Buttigieg. 4 fights, 4 wins and a WBO Latino Gold Super Bantamweight champion belt to add to his silver belt meant El Bombero ended 2025 with a top 15 WBO ranking and a perfect record of 11 professional fights and 11 wins. Olivia Lett. One of the favourites to bring back medals from the Orkney Island Games, Olivia did not disappoint. She won the women's individual time trial and alongside her teammates received team gold as well. A couple of days later, she was on the podium again, this time with a bronze medal in the road race. An amazing feat considering she had given birth just a year earlier. Bernardo Lopez. He led Lincoln Red Imps to their 5th league title in a row, scoring vital goals not only in their league campaign but also in European competition, where he was a constant threat. A leader on and off the field, Bernardo is one of the first names on the team sheet for both club and country. Colin Tester. An electrifying performance by Colin in the individual time trial saw the ex-rower take the podium at the Orkney Island Games to earn a silver medal. The first medal won by a male cyclist at this level, a huge milestone, not only for him, but the team as well, who took home bronze.
There you have it, the 5 nominees for this year's GBC Sports Awards. Always difficult when it's an Island Games year because we've got a lot more competition and a lot more of a headache in choosing the nominees. We've got 2 cyclists that brought back silverware from the Island Games in Orkney. Guys, Orkney Island Games, how much of a factor has that been in this year's Sports Awards?
We should have got a medal for having spent 6 days in the Orkney sun. We weren't expecting
You were
that.
going to say that at some point.
No, it was brilliant, and you've hit the nail on the head. Every time it is an Island Games year, it ramps up the decision making when it comes to the sports awards because there are so many more medals, there's so much more success, and yeah.
You were at the cycling both times. Colin Tester, fantastic history maker, first male Gibraltarian to win a cycling medal at the Island Games.
The next cyclist off the rowing conveyor belt. No, there's a relationship here, and him and Mark Lepp, by the way, and a few before them have really taken to the sport. I mean, rapidissimo, really, no? And they were both brilliant. Colin, the sort of the alpha of the pack. He shoulders a lot of the responsibility, does a lot of the talking with the press and for those around, kind of thing. He's a real character, and really happy for him that he did so well. I
think we were quite surprised that he'd finished so high up as well. On the day we knew that Jib had a chance of a medal, and we were talking about Mark potentially being that guy that was going to break into the podium, and to see Colin and the time that he did, it was fantastic. And I remember that photo of him on the side of the road at the end of it, just looking absolutely shattered. And also, obviously, his medal led to a team medal as well. So,
another nominee, Bernardo Lopez, which has been a staple of Gibraltarian football now, but club football, especially since he came when he was 21 years ago, when he was 21 years old. And he's had a fantastic year with Lincoln, and again, another history maker.
Yeah, I've forgotten how many titles in a row Lincoln have won now. 5. With him at centre-back, so yeah, and he's obviously become a Gibraltarian international as well. He's changed his nationality from Portuguese to Gibraltarian. I think he loves the fact that he's playing for Gibraltar. And I think that we always miss him when he's not playing for the national team. There always feels like there's that reassurance at the back, that kind of like, you feel like he's going to get us out of trouble, but also he's a huge threat going forward as well. He scores loads of goals for a centre-back, and he just seems to have that kind of like little bit of quality, maybe a little bit too much quality for the local league kind of thing, Yeah. But as a player, I think he's brilliant.
And he's sort of Gibraltar's own sort of Virgil van Dijk in that he's just so classy at the back. He's got so much presence, but people close to him have said before, and he won't mind me saying this, is that had he had just a little bit more want, he could have reached a higher level in football. I mean, selfishly, we're glad he didn't have any more than he does. You know what I mean? Because what an addition he's been to the league, to Lincoln, and most importantly to the national team.
Especially for Lincoln, I mean, what a fantastic season they had in the Conference League, and he's chipped in with important goals, like you said too. So he's going to continue to be important for this playoff now against Latvia, I'm sure. Well, guys, thank you very much. That's all we have time for in part 1. We'll continue to talk about this year's nominees. 3 more to go in part 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Sports Locker. We're talking all things sports awards with my colleagues Robin Sheppard-Capurro and James Culatto. Guys, a returning sports person to the nominees, Tyron Buttigieg. He probably felt he had a really good chance last year. Yep. And if he had a good chance last year, he probably has a better one this time around.
No, you want me to say something? Oh, he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant. For boxing to have not disappeared, but sort of be more of a background sport for so many years, and then for Tyron to come back into the fold, say, oh, I just want to try a couple of professional fights, and then all of a sudden, 11 fights later, win a couple of belts and have a world ranking. I think it's one of the comeback stories in Gibraltar sporting history.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, he might not be the most sort of like flashy fighter and you don't expect fireworks, but technically he's brilliant. And I think we should be very, very grateful that, again, we're very lucky to have someone like him in a fringe sport. He's not in one of the major sports as we consider it. And I think 2025 was a super year for him.
And especially 2025 was a big year for boxing more broadly, given the Montegrifo brothers. Now, you talk about Tyron perhaps not being like the flashiest. These guys bring flash and flair and all the rest of it, the Montegrifos. I mean, you're right, he's different. He's not about the trash talk and about the promotion or this and the other. He just really kind of he locks in and does his job.
Yeah.
And time and time again, he just blows his opponent away.
I mean, from not having boxing really in the conversation a couple of years ago to now potentially this time next year talking about 3 boxers that if they all continue the run they're on, they could all be nominated.
Yeah. Imagine that.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
Well, and they could have a 3-minute rounds, triple threat, to figure out who wins it on stage.
Well, WWE style, no?
Get a couple of Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys in there as well.
I mean, like you said, a fantastic year for Tyron, and like he would say, he lets his fists do the talking in the ring. I think it's fair to say, and fair play to him. WBO Latino champion, WBC silver belt champion, and ranked 15th in the world in the bantamweight division. So
and super excited at what 2026 has in store, because he's been tight-lipped for now, but presumably he's got
something in the works,
something in the pipeline.
Yeah. Yep. Moving on, let's go back to the Island Games, which Robin has such fond memories of, and another cyclist, Olivia Lett, and she was great in the previous Island Games. She's only gone and done it again after becoming a mother as well.
Yeah, Olivia was amazing. I mean, she was amazing in Guernsey, but she came in as a bit of like an unknown quantity, no? Into Guernsey, nobody really, apart from us, none of her opponents knew who she was. And then she comes back 2 years later in Orkney, not just, with a higher standard of cyclist around her, but with the pressure. Like, she's the gold medalist and that there's something to be said for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chuck in, having given birth not long later, we were there. I was roadside as she was racing with her mom. I was speaking to Nicola. I was saying, "What do you reckon? What are her expectations?" She says, "Okay, Olivia doesn't do second place."
And she was unlucky. She did fall off a bike at one point in one of the races as well, so she was unlucky there, no? Because she could have come better than a bronze medal.
She hit her shoulder.
She hit her shoulder.
Yeah,
on
that
races,
was. Yeah.
So she could have brought back a silver or gold medal as well.
Still a phenomenal Island Games for her.
Yeah, made of tough stuff, those cyclists.
Yeah.
Almost as tough as the sports reporters. It was so hot out there.
I was going to say, was it hot during that day?
Roasting.
It was so hot that the little hairs I have here turned blonde.
Yeah. Okay, Shuni.
Venga, one last nominee, Kim Baglietto. Again, I mean, a staple in Gibraltarian athletics, Gibraltarian running. I spoke to her recently and she told me she has every national record above 800 meters, I think, above 400 meters for the women's. I mean, that says
ridiculous.
It all. And she keeps on beating them, as she did for the marathon, which she beat her own time, she said, in Sevilla the year before, this time in London. And I mean, how lucky are we to have her in athletics, James?
I mean, she's sort of like, in terms of athletics, she is a generational talent. Yeah, like you said, she's got all the records, all the local records. What is it? 800, 1,500, 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter. I'm guessing all of those are hers. That's ridiculous. It's and the half marathon, and she won several times in Spain last year. She won every local race that she competed in 2025 as well. So generational talent. She'll go down in athletics history as one of the all-time greats.
I love her personality as well. She's
Yeah.
very likable. So
Very down to
you can
earth.
be brilliant at your chosen sport, but if you've also always got time for the cameras afterwards, and you've also got time for an interview, and she always does it with a smile on her face. She's very friendly.
Yeah.
So she's not just super talented, but also, like I say, muy buena gente.
And I mean, the fact that she's a threat to all of southern Spain. I mean, she won the Cádiz half marathon, Torremolinos half marathon. These are big places with a lot of top athletes. So the fact that she goes there and dominates in
she
that category.
won 4 or 5 of them. no?
Exactly, yeah.
It'll take someone super special to come along and smash those national records.
Yeah. And I don't think one person will be able to do it either. I think that's why she's got to be considered one of the all-time greats in local athletics. Yeah.
And she'll be missed in the next Island Games because I believe she is taking a step back from competing in the Island Games. A well-deserved break. A well-deserved break for Kim. A well-deserved break. Let's continue talking about the other awards, which we do have to be a little bit tight-lipped about, but one of my personal favourites, Lifetime Achievement, always a tear-jerker and always hard to pick a winner because you might think, like Robin was rightly saying off camera, I'm always worried if we're going to run out of people, but we never do. There's always people that are worthy of the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, and we were talking in part 1 about the Unsung Hero Award, and synonymous to that is the voluntary basis, no, on which like a lot of these people contribute to their sports, but this is for the person that's been on a voluntary basis for decades and decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, and we're never going to run out because we've already had nominations for next year because some nominations came in a little bit late. So we've already got names in for next year. And we are spoilt for choice once again. It's a tough award to decide on, but
I love how coy he's
he doesn't give too much away.
I would rather not say anything at all. Yeah.
Let's briefly talk about the other ones as well because we don't want to give too much away. Senior team last year was Eagles, and again this year we've had a couple of teams that have done really well internationally and domestically. So again, it's just hard to choose a winner, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, Junior. Junior Sports Person of the Year. Again, another one that's hard because we do have a lot of juniors competing at a high level now. There's darts players, horse riding with Stella, a lot of juniors that do well.
A lot of football players.
I was going to say, this particular award, I think, is going to become increasingly complicated given dozens and dozens and dozens of young footballers playing their football across the border, away from the spotlight kind of thing, and
look, I think
presumably improving.
I think we're also quite excited about the potential resurgence of sports like basketball and hockey, where there looks like there might be new generations coming through in those sports. I mean, netball are always good as well.
Yeah.
Rowing always has good youngsters competing in British championships and stuff like that. So, and the rugby guys as well. Now rugby's in Rugby Europe. That's a big thing. We're going to see more focus on their youth. So this particular award over the next couple of years could really evolve into something that very, very tough award to win.
Yeah, and all that can be said again for the Junior Team Award.
Exactly the same.
Which is, exactly the same. Now with rugby in Rugby Europe, we might see junior teams competing abroad. So we're always going to have a difficult choice picking a winner there. Let's move on to some questions that people might have, or questions that I often get asked in the streets. One of them being, how do we pick a winner? Should we elaborate a little bit on how it works? The phone lines were available until recently. Tell us a little bit about that, James.
Yeah, so we give the public the opportunity to cast their vote for senior individual, which I think is obviously very, very important. Their vote is as important as ours, really. I mean, we want to know what the public think, and that's why the phone lines are open for a couple of weeks, to give everyone the opportunity to do that. With regards to the other awards, we essentially cover local sports for a whole year, right? I mean, you guys are in the thick of it. We have Sports for News going out twice a week. We've got Sports Locker, Sports Report, all the other stuff that we do. And over the course of a year, starting in January, we start creating lists of people that are achieving stuff, teams that are. And as the course of the year goes on, we narrow it down, we see who's doing what, and then we start contacting associations and asking them, tell me what I've missed on this person or this team. And they get back to us, and then we start quantifying what everyone's done.
You make it sound very organised. There is a sprinkling of chaos in there.
Oh, of course, as with all sports.
We are very rigorous, though, in our selective
process. But we are.
And we try to make sure, or we do make sure that we get all the facts down to a T. and we picked the most worthy winners and nominees, of course, as well. Very good. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for talking about the Sports Awards. Thank you very much for wearing green. And thank you for watching at home and tuning in to watch for Sports Locker on your Monday evening. Don't forget, the Sports Awards are just around the corner. A big night for local sports. See you then.